it is rare that we find ourselves agreeing with Charlie Kirk. This is, I guess, this is like what the horseshoe theory is, right? I
do not want to meet Charlie at the end of the horseshoe.
This is what the horseshoe theory is. This is where, and Charlie Kirk is an intriguing figure to me because
we have a rare occurrence today, and that is Sam Seder and Emma Vigeland agreeing with far-right MAGA pundit Charlie Kirk. It's surprising, I know. We'll find out a bit more about exactly why Sam Seder and Emma Vigeland are agreeing with Charlie Kirk here in just a second. We're going to take a look at clips of the Majority Report with Sam Seder and Emma Vigeland, and I'll share my thoughts here from time to time. This is pretty good. Let's check this out.
Understand, Charlie Kirk had, I think, his outfit, Turning Points USA, had one of the primary responsibilities to drive the youth vote in Arizona. I mean, he dedicated his show, his organization to making sure that Kari Lake wins in Arizona. Mm-hmm. And not only did Kari Lake not win in Arizona, she lost most extremely with the age demographic that Charlie Kirk supposedly speaks to. Now, they're giving him another bite at the apple. And Turning Points USA has a big part in the Get Out the Vote operation for Donald Trump. I just want everybody to remember that. If Donald Trump wins, Charlie Kirk's Get Out the Vote operation, we're going to see a lot of Charlie Kirk.
Although, just from a temporal kind of point of view, does his ability to speak to younger people kind of disintegrate as we move along in time?
As long as the funders are old enough to see Charlie Kirk tell them, as long as he can go in and go, TikTok is really
communist.
No, the TikTok is super important for us to have a presence there. I mean, it's all the same bullshit. But all this said, Charlie Kirk realizes that with at least one cohort that he's addressing here, I assume it's younger people, that they find Donald Trump sort of repulsive. And so he has to find another angle in which to support them. And I think he hits on something that I think is absolutely accurate here. In fact, we've made the same argument. This is where the horseshoe theory comes in. And here he is.
For Trump. You're voting for 5,000 people that will run your government. Do you think that Donald Trump will assemble 5,000 better people, more in line with your worldview, maybe not perfect, or Kamala Harris? That's what's on the ticket. It is a team of 5,000 people. And that goes from everything from the Department of Defense to the border to all these issues. And they want to try to personalize this election in the media. They want to try to make you feel emotional about something Trump said or did not say. But we will win if we can rise above that and say, hey, you have Bobby Kennedy involved in a presidential transition team of who's going to be at the FDA, the CDC, the NIH. I mean, that's a game changer.
Is that a selling point? Charlie Kirk is trying to sell RFK Jr., the guy who took a dead bear from the road and cut the head off of a whale and all these other bizarre things. That's a selling point? RFK Jr.? I think a lot of people would look at that and be like, meh, RFK Jr., I don't think I want him involved with our government.
This is the Avengers team. Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi is the former co-chair of the DNC just a couple years ago. You got Elon Musk, who is the world's wealthiest man and is a free thinker and used to be an Obama supporter. Of course, Bobby Kennedy. And I think it's really something for those of us that can see what's really going on in the country, beyond just the media news cycle and the chatter on cable TV. We know that we are at risk of losing our country because there's an unelected oligarchy that is making decisions for health, for border, for war, and this is our opportunity. Our framers gave us this, especially here in Arizona, because these electoral votes are going to matter a lot. Are going to say, hey, you could take back those 5,000 positions. You can all of a sudden say, no, Anthony Fauci, all of your minions are gone in the FDA. They're gone.
Okay. So I agree. I actually think it actually is probably even like a little bit more than 5,000, to be honest with you. But nevertheless, the point remains. He is right. You are not voting for just an individual. to be president. You're voting for all of the personnel that will fill regulatory agencies. I mean, frankly, federal judicial spots.
Yeah.
You're voting for all of that. Now, maybe you want someone who is fundamentally anti-vax in charge of all these, organizations. Somebody who hasn't, I mean, I know Bobby's expertise. He has not managed, as far as I can tell, anything. And I know what his role was on the Riverkeeper and this and that. I know what he's done. He's not a manager. I don't know what Tulsi Gabbard's going to be in charge of.
On the Avengers team?
It's going to be hard to deal with the oligarchs when you have one of the richest human beings alive in charge of whatever he's going to be in charge of. And then another billionaire. Incidentally, that's what oligarchs are.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Well, okay. So is this true? It's 100% true. Is it good politics to emphasize this? No. Does it mean I think they're worried? Yes. Because they want to argue, first of all, it's a less salient argument with Republicans than it is with Democrats, because they don't give a shit if there's about the government. So they don't care about who the bureaucrats are because they don't want government to function.
Those bureaucrats are being put in to, in the words of Steve Bannon, destroy the administrative state.
Yes. So they don't. So in terms of like appealing to saying like we'll have our people in there to destroy the administrative state, it matters much less than Democrats arguing, well, we've got to elect Biden in this instance to make sure that you don't get those people in there who will destroy the administrative state. It doesn't work as well in the reverse, I think. But also it means you're losing, because you can't make the case that like you got to vote for Trump because remember how good things were under Betsy DeVos, or like you got to vote for Trump. We need Scott Pruitt back in the EPA. The Republican voter base does not give a crap, especially because Trump is a cult of personality. So when you say it's not about his personality, what are you talking about anymore? Right. It's a bad argument. Like for us, it's a good argument, but that's why we're not Republicans.
I think you could. It's also just as easy as to say like, which crew of people do you want? Which 5,000 do you want? And it's not just that 5,000, incidentally. It's also the constituencies that will be voting and influencing who those 5,000 are. I mean, if there's no Bernie Sanders, I don't think we have the labor enforcement and the labor rulings that we're getting from the National Labor Relations Board. I don't think there's really any chance.
You don't have Warren.
If there's no Warren, you don't have the antitrust.
Yeah.
You don't have Cantor or Khan. This is like, he's accurate. It's accurate. You can get like his supposed Avengers, like misfit adventures, who all share, I was watching Kennedy, a clip where he was bemoaning the fact that the Democrats are funding billions of dollars to Ukraine, which incidentally is fighting a country that's invading them. But he has absolutely less than no problem with the billions of dollars going to Israel to invade other countries, to occupy other people, to blow up with 2,000-pound bombs, children, women, civilians. No problem whatsoever. That's the anti-war candidate. Incidentally, Tulsi Gabbard, also similarly situated.
Isn't she in psychological operations? Isn't that her that's her division, right?
These are really good points here by Sam Seder and Emma Vigeland. And like they're saying, Charlie Kirk is correct that it will be, not just Donald Trump, but all of the people involved in either one of these administrations are going to be, the people actually doing the work and all of that. But this isn't the flex that Charlie Kirk thinks it is. Because you look back to, we think back to the Trump administration and what a disaster it was. And anybody competent that Donald Trump put in there left or he fired, and that's the thing that's scary about the possibility of a second Trump administration. There won't be a Rex Tillerson in there. Now, do I think Rex Tillerson is a good guy? Probably, this former CEO of of a massive oil company? No. But he was seemingly competent and not a total lunatic, and he left or Trump fired him. And then by the end of the administration, you were just left with all the kooks and the nuts, and there weren't any rational people within Trump's administration. You know, you think back to COVID and what a disaster that was in terms of how the Trump administration handled things. You know, you had the supplies being sold to the highest bidder and all of that kind of stuff. If Charlie Kirk would come out and say, you elect Trump, you're going to have an administration with Nikki Haley in it. Do I agree with Nikki Haley's policies? No. But she at least seems to be a semi-competent person and not a total lunatic. But Charlie Kirk throws out, you know, his people that he's pitching as being, oh, you want these people, RFK Jr. and Elon Musk and Tulsi Gabbard? That's supposed to make people excited. Not the majority of people are not going to want anything to do with somebody like RFK Jr., who just seems to be a total loon. And so Sam Seder and Emma Vigeland make a good point that, you know, the Kamala Harris administration is going to continue to have people like Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren involved who have actually done good things. So this is pretty funny on Charlie Kirk's part. He's absolutely right that you're not just voting for Donald Trump, which, as Sam and Emma said here, you know, the Republican doesn't care who is going to be in Donald Trump's cabinet or his administration. They just care about Donald Trump. Charlie Kirk is making the argument for Kamala Harris, not against Kamala Harris, in terms of who would be involved in their administration. You know, they famously say that in 2016, when it looked like Hillary Clinton was going to be elected, that she had already had people ready to go to fill every position. And when she lost and Trump and his family went through the White House, I think it was Don Jr. thought that all the employees in the White House would just transfer over. And they were like, no, you'll be filling all of these positions. So they were completely unprepared for it. Now, this time, it looks like they're going to be prepared to fill all those positions, and they're going to fill them with crackpots like RFK Jr. and Elon Musk. So there's a clear choice, and Sam Seder and Emma Vigeland have pointed it out well here. It's funny, you know, that they, as they said, it's kind of a joke, a rare occurrence of them agreeing with Charlie Kirk. He's right, but it's not the flex that Charlie Kirk thinks it is. Make sure to leave a comment about this video, about Sam Seder, Emma Vigeland, Charlie Kirk, anything else you'd like to comment about. I love to read your comments. It helps my channel to grow. Make sure to give me a like and subscribe as well. I'm well over 20,000 subscribers now. I was just at 10,000 a few days ago, and that's thanks to your comments, likes, and subscribe. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure to do so I can continue to bring out more content like this. This is Chris on Culture. I will see you in the next video.